If I'm gonna help you become a better golfer, a quick tip is not gonna help you. I promise you by what I show you in the next few minutes that I will solve every one of your golf swing problems for the rest of your life. You're gonna say by the end of tonight's program that this is common sense. Hey, welcome everybody to tonight's show where I'm gonna talk about the blueprint of Moe Norman's single plane swing, what he taught me. I was frustrated with my golf swing. This is back, I'll date myself a little bit here, back in 1994. And then I run into Moe Norman. And if you don't know who Moe Norman is, maybe some of you do, some of you don't. Moe Norman, in his prime, was regarded as one of the greatest ball strikers that's ever lived. And so you can look up some of his records, his course records, his tournament wins. But he was regarded by the tour players, and even tour players today, like Tiger Woods, who knew Moe Norman, regarded Moe as the greatest ball striker that's ever played the game. Matter of fact, there was a recent video of Tiger talking about his son playing the game of golf, and he mentioned how Moe Norman was one of the guys who inspired Tiger to improve his golf swing and develop his own golf swing. I wanted to improve my golf swing as well, and I had worked with some of the best instructors in the world. Now, I don't know if you out there who are watching this have been through instruction. I'm sure many of you had instruction before, but I know that you've watched my YouTube channel. I know you've watched other people's YouTube channels. I know you've kind of been around the block. Well, that was me back in 1994. I'd been around the block and I was frustrated. I was that close. And I tell people all the time, I was just about to give up. I was pretty much done playing the game of golf because I was so frustrated with all the information that was out there that hadn't really helped me or made me a better golfer. And then I met Moe. And one of the inspiring things about Moe Norman was the simplicity of the swing. Yes, it was very different than any swing I'd ever seen, but it actually did everything that good swings do, but in a more efficient way. So I became friends with Moe in 1994, and I spent 10 years, and I learned all of the things that made Moe so great, and it was in the simplicity of the swing. So tonight, I want to share with you those, call them secrets, but in a way they're not really secrets. They're basic fundamental stuff I want to share with you. It's the core basic principles of the single plane swing. I want to give you those to help you become a more consistent golfer, hitting more fairways, more greens, playing better golf, and do it in an effortless way. It's easier on your body, easier on your back. I'm going to show you the blueprint for that tonight. That is my goal for tonight's program. I have taught thousands of people around the world the single plane swing, and I'm glad I can be here in front of you tonight to show you the things that I've learned so that you can take these going forward and become a better golfer, because it certainly helped me, and I want to make sure it helps you. Many of you have had instruction before, and I can tell you right now that if you're watching YouTube videos or watching other people on YouTube or other channels, that I will even tell you that my YouTube channel is probably not the greatest place to go for instruction. And I'll tell you why. Because context is a very important part of you becoming a better golfer. Context. Well, what does that mean? If I'm going to help you become a better golfer, a quick tip is not going to help you. There is nothing I do that's a quick tip. There is a formula for playing great golf. There is actually a formula for me helping you develop your swing. I promise you by what I show you in the next few minutes that I will solve every one of your golf swing problems for the rest of your life. And that's a big promise. That's the first promise. The second promise I'm going to give you is this, that what I show you tonight will fix any swing problem that you ever have for the rest of your life. That's another very big promise. And the third thing is that this is the only thing you ever need to do for the rest of your life to be consistent, just like Moe Norman, just like I am now, in playing the best golf of your life, because I want to get you out there playing the best golf of your life so you can enjoy the game as much as I do and as much as the students that I work with do. So let's start right here. I'm going to show you on this whiteboard here a process, and I teach everybody this process. There is not one person, whether you come to one of our golf schools, whether you work with our coaches online, whether you work with me individually, this is the exact process I'm going to show you. I'm going to share it with you. This is what Moe showed me about the golf swing as he helped me learn the single plane swing. And then we'll go through parts of the swing as we do this. Many of you have probably learned this. You've probably learned to, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but you probably learned to grip the club first. Everybody, if you watch instruction out there and people are helping you with your swing, they're looking at your grip first. I'm going to recommend that you don't do that. Here's what I recommend. Address and grip. This is the very first part of the formula. Now, this is where it has to start. I want to spend a little bit of time explaining this. We don't teach grip first, then address. And here's why. The goal of the golf swing, the goal of you getting better at hitting a golf ball is very simple. It's to improve your ability to get to the moment of impact, right? Getting you to the moment of impact. In other words, going right here to this very important moment where the ball is being struck, where the club is coming in with proper angles of approach, where you're compressing the golf ball. So the goal is to bring the club into this perfect moment of impact where the club is square, the hands are leading, the body position is correct. So notice that position really quickly. Take a look at me at impact for just a second. And if I could test you, I would test you on this position. Can you get to this moment of impact? Everything I'm going to teach you tonight is about getting to this moment of impact. Because if I get you to impact consistently, the position of the body consistently, I can get you hitting the ball straight, long, and just like you want to hit it. But notice that the most important part of the impact position was my body position. Look at the position of my body at impact. Look at the position. So what I want to do is create an address position. I want to create a starting position that mirrors, is very close to my impact position. Doesn't that make sense? But if you were a conventional golfer, they don't do that. What they do is they tell you to hang your arms below the shoulders. They tell you they call it the athletic position. I call that the one mistake. I call the biggest mistake being taught in golf is they teach you to stand like an athlete. They stand you like this when you're going to impact in a completely different spot, when you need to be setting up in a very similar position impact. That's just common sense. So I teach people to put their body in position at address their body position, and then hold the club. Address, then grip. That's the first part of the formula. In other words, if you get your body in position, very similar to where you'd be in impact, the arm position, lining the club face up, and the trail arm position are very similar to where you're going to be at impact. So I teach people address and grip. There's the first probably major revelation for you in this formula is no longer should you grip the club first, you need to position your body first and then grip the club. That's number one. Number two. Positions. Now, from your proper address and grip position, I want to teach you the positions that you need to move through to swing the club correctly, the positions of your body. Let me go through. There's actually 6 positions, and there's actually 7 if you count this as a position. There's actually 6 positions. Let me show you these positions because they relate to what? Right? Every position I show you here, this is what Moe and I discussed quite a bit. Every single position that I go throughout the motion I'm going to make is helping me achieve what? Impact. So each position that I show you helps me get to the most important moment. So obviously you have the address and grip. And notice, see the alignment of the lead arm and the club? That's where it's going to be at impact. It's going to line up. You see the alignment of the trail arm and the club? That's where it's going to be at impact. So my alignments here at my address and my hand position are now from this position. Notice how the club is referencing what I call the pivot point, but right here towards my lead hip. I'm going to take this reference. I'm going to go to position 1. This will be position 1. And then I'm going to go to the top, position 2. We're going to talk about this in just a second. This is swing plane. We're going to transition, stabilize. We're going to go to position 3. This is what we call hitting position. Impact back to the plane at 4, impact plane. Extension 5, this is where the speed gets released. And then you're going to get back on plane here at position 6. This is the finish. Then you're going to stand up and complete your motion. Each one of those positions, let me do it down the line. Here's the single plane address. Notice how the club is lining up on the same plane as I'm going to impact. So I go position 1, 2. Look at this. The club is mirroring the plane. Plane is very important because if a club was steep or flat, I can't return it where? To impact. So I go to 2, need to be on plane. Position 3, there's hitting position. That's coming down the plane. Impact, back to the plane at impact. 4, 5 extension. And then 6, look at the club, back to the plane. Now, those are the positions of the swing. I start here at address and grip. And then we work through the positions of the motion. Moe told me, and I asked him flat out, I said, Moe, if you were going to teach anybody the swing, what's the most important thing? He said, you got to hit your positions. You must hit your positions. Well, because the positions of your body affect the position of the club. When my body positions are correct, that club is on plane. When the club is on plane, it's on the path to do what? Get to the proper position of impact. That's why swing plane and positions are such an important part. Okay, now that you understand, you got your address and grip. You got the positions of the swing, right? And I break it into positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are really just great checkpoints that you're moving your body correctly so the club can move correctly. If the body and club move correctly, we can get you to impact. The next thing is sequence. Because we're going to want to put all those positions together, right? We got to put you into motion. But let me ask you this, and this is where this conversation gets really interesting. How can I put you into sequence if you haven't got the positions correct, right? So this makes sense now to put you in sequence. Because if I put you in sequence, what I have to do is there's this thing called the braking system. I'm going to explain what this is. We got the brakes. When a question I often get asked, and this is not, I say often, I would say I get asked this question once a week, or every time I go to a school. And people say, and this is when I'm teaching people the first time, they always ask me the question, is the swing left-sided? Matter of fact, I got asked this yesterday morning. Is the swing left, was Moe left-sided or was he right-sided? And the answer to that is he was both-sided. He was using both sides of his body. So that question is not a one or the other question, it's a when question. I'm going to explain that. So there is a time in your swing when from the top of your swing, when I stabilize, that it's very much lead-sided, which is my left side, very much lead-sided. Then when I get to a certain point, it's very much trail-sided. It's when during the swing are you able to accelerate the body. But we have to have what I call the brakes. Now, this is where it gets pretty interesting because the brakes in the golf swing are really easy to explain when you look at it this way. If I want this, so I got to put one more thing up here. What I want in the golf swing is speed. What I want is speed, right? So I want to have a great setup. I want to hit great positions so I can put them into sequence. Sequence makes sure the club's on plane. But I want speed because I want to hit the ball longer distances, right? I want to hit it from point A to point B, not only straight, but I want to hit long distances as well. Well, where does speed come from, right? This is the question when you look at how the body is doing this and producing speed. And this is where all of you, if you want some more speed, pay attention to this because we all want more speed, but you're to be more efficient. One of the things that Moe talked about a lot to me was efficiency and effortless. And if you watch Moe hit a golf ball, but if you watch any good ball striker hit a golf ball, it looks effortless, right? It looks like they're not really doing much, but they're moving the club very effectively, and the ball just comes off and goes long distances. So how does that occur? Well, it's occurring because of the braking system. So let me explain what's happening. If I'm going to accelerate a part of the body, in other words, if I'm going to speed up one part of the body, I've got to slow down and stop a subsequent part of the body. And let's just use the quick example. So let's say I want to throw this ball. And I'll do a skipping motion just so it relates to the golf swing. Very much related to the golf swing. I'm going to do a skipping motion. Notice that when I skip the rocks, or this ball, I step, but notice that I'm stopping this side of my body so I can accelerate that side. So this had to stop for this to accelerate, correct? So one part stops as another part goes. Well, this is happening in the backswing too. As I'm going in the backswing, this is stopping as this is going. So throughout the motion of a swing, there's always something stopping so something else can accelerate. Now, if I want to add more speed, I've got to really, and I call this the braking system because what happens in the downswing is I've got to put the brakes on here, but I've got to accelerate this side of my body. And so when I'm coming down, the upper body also puts the brakes on. So guess what? The arms and hands can accelerate. So if I show you a golf swing in those terms, and this is the stuff that Moe would talk to me quite often about, is it wasn't always about the motion. See, what happens is you watch YouTube, you watch these other things that you see on maybe tips you're watching, and they're talking about maybe some positions, and maybe they're talking about motion. But what they're not talking about is that the only way to make the motion is to stabilize a part of your body to make the motion. Let me go through each segment here during the swing. Address. Look at my legs. Just look at my positions, right? My foot position. They're positioned a certain way because my body, when I'm turning, my lower body can stabilize. So my upper body can keep going. And then what happens is my arms continue. So that's it. If I put that in sequence, it looks like this. It looks like a backswing, right? But what's happening is the lower body is stopping, the upper body is stopping, and then the arms continue. There's segments happening there, and it's blended into a motion. See that? So you got the braking system put on here, you got a braking system put on here, then you got the arms going up. And look at this. This is max range. This is as far as I can go. Notice I'm not going further. Very important, because follow me on this. My positions determined how far I can go. Watch that again real quick. The positions of my body, see my tilt, see I can't go any further because my positions only allow me to go there. And guess what? That's where swing plane is. See the club, look how nicely plane that club is. It's not up here, it's not long, it's right here. It's right on plane, so I can get back to where? Impact. Positions are primary before sequence. Sequence is primary before speed. Now watch the downswing. I'm in the backswing. Look at that. I stabilize into the leg. This stops. Boom. It's like stepping into a shoe. It stops. But this right side of my part, I'm pulling. There's that left-sided. But guess what? This now starts stopping. Look at my lower body. Foot's on the ground, knees flexed. But guess what can keep going? The fast part of my body. Arms, hands, and shoulders. See that? So when this stops, and then this stops, guess what can go? The arms, hands, and shoulders. This is where sequence comes in. But you must have the stopping part in order to have the going part. Does that make sense? So the braking system, that's where this thing is really interesting, because you master the foundation, address and grip. You get the positions of the swing. You get the sequence and the brakes. Now we can accelerate and add speed. Now, this is Moe's formula. This is what Moe expressed to me over and over again. Todd, you have to build a foundation. Hit your positions. Put it in sequence. Make it effortless. And then you add speed. But I want to show you something that you're going to find interesting. This is not how you learn the golf swing. I'm going to go to how you learned it. And this is where we're going to have a discussion tonight. You learn the golf swing exactly backwards. Here's what you learn to do. When you learn to swing a golf club, you basically were given a club. Maybe somebody gave you a hand-me-down set of clubs, or you borrowed a set from somebody, and you ran right out to the range, and the very first thing you were trying to do is add speed to the club. The whole process here, when you guys were learning to play golf, is backwards, right? Now, it's not your fault, but then what you did was, since you couldn't figure it out, you started then trying to figure out what are the pieces of the puddle. Maybe it's positions. Maybe you got to work on your address and grip. So you kind of did this whole thing backwards. But here's my question for you. Let's think about something for a minute. Think about anything you've ever learned. Let's talk about, if I was going to teach you the basic fundamentals of a dance. Let's say it was the waltz or any type of dance, right? You would never do it like this. You'd never try to dance and try to learn it backwards. What you would do was you would learn what? How to hold your body. The positions of the dance, of their feet. You learn the positions first. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Then you would learn how to put it all together, and guess what? When you add speed, you can now dance. Right? Let's talk about learning to play the piano. If you learn to play the piano, maybe some of you already play piano. What did you learn first? You didn't try to play the music first because you couldn't. You didn't know where what? The notes were. So you got to know where the notes are, where the positions of your hands go for the notes, how to move your hands correctly to the different notes and chords. Now you play the song. I am not telling you here anything that's abnormal. The problem is with golf, we didn't learn it that way. We didn't learn to play the game of golf the way you should have learned it. So I'm proposing to you tonight, and the only thing I would add to my formula here, because this is your blueprint. This is the blueprint right here. This is your blueprint for what you need to do. This is what you need to do for the rest of your life if you're going to finally, and maybe you're serious about it, maybe you're not. You're here tonight, so you got to be somewhat serious about this. I want to help you for the rest of your life. Stop chasing a better golf swing by trying to quick fix it. I want you to formulate your swing to be a great golf swing. And if you can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm telling you right now, I figured this out because Moe guided me through this exact formula. He said you got to start fundamentally at the address and grip. You've got to master the positions. First of all, can you go to the positions? Can you even hit the positions? Do you know where they are? Okay, do that first. Then we can put it in a sequence. Then we can add speed to it. And this formula works every time. But I'll tell you what else. When I have a swing problem, let's say I have a bad ball striking day, I check my address and grip. I check position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I check my positions. Then I find out where my problem is. I'll usually find it maybe in here. I make an adjustment. Then I can sequence it better and add speed. So this also helps me solve all my problems. You see, I told you tonight's show was about giving you the formula for the rest of your life to help you solve your address and grip. Do it with address and grip. Don't do grip and address anymore. Position your body for impact and then grip the club. I'll show you something about that in just a second. Work on the positions of your motion. Can you hit the positions? If you can't hit them in slow motion, here's my question. If you can't hit the positions doing it in slow motion, how could you expect to do it in fast motion, right? So we got to make sure that those positions are happening, that you know how to do them in slow motion. Then I can add sequence to them. I can apply the brakes to your body, tell you how to stop the body, so I can tell you how to add speed to the body. Makes some sense, right? I want to show you something very quickly about positions and the grip. And you guys can experiment, play around with this. If you're at home and you're on, some of you, I don't know if you're in the chat. Is the mic okay, by the way?
Yeah, much better.
Did I mess it up? Anyway.
It was from swinging.
It was from swinging, yeah. So if you're at home and you're going to do this, try this for me. We're going to do a little experiment here for you. I'm going to show you how the body works. I'm going to show you a little range of motion equation here. And I'm going to show you how a square club face can occur without you even trying. In other words, I'm going to show you how to square a club face at impact, and you don't even need to try. By the way, that's the goal, right? Is you don't want to try a square club face. You want, when you make a swing, the face to square automatically, right? And it's a question I get quite often is, hey Todd, how do you square the club face? Do you roll the hands? I said, no, I don't even try. I've already put my body in a position where it naturally automatically squares. But it comes from the address and grip setup. Watch what I do here. So, and I won't do it with the club first because I want you guys to do this at home. So what I want you to do is, I want you just to, if you're in a chair, you can sit down, but I want you to tilt your body just slightly. Now remember, address, position first. So body position first, address. Then I want you to take your lead arm and put it in front of your body. Now, remember, your lead arm, this is called flexion. Lead arm is in front of the body. This is, the back of the hand is the club face. So when you grip a club, you'll notice that when I put my body in position, I can get the back of my hand directly to the target. But I want you to do something before you do that. I want you to take your arm and just rotate it inward as far as you can. Just go like that, but make sure you're tilted. Now, I want you to not even move your upper part of your arm. So from your elbow up, don't move it, because that's in flexion. And then I want you to only rotate your forearm. And you'll notice, don't rotate this part of your arm, only the forearm. And notice the forearm could only go to the target. It will only go towards that target. I'll do it one more time for you. Side bend, tilt, arm in, rotate forearm. Now, you'll notice that the full range of motion of my forearm, the back of the hand only goes to the target. Okay, watch what happens now. What that means is that the club face can only be square. In other words, the only place the club face can be is square. And you're like, Todd, why does this even matter? Because watch what happens in the swing. This is where it matters. During the swing, I'm in side bend. Notice in the backswing. Notice when I made the lead arm go into the backswing, what did it do? It went this way, right? It went rotated this way. So in the backswing, my arm goes this way. That's exactly what I just showed you. Arm goes this way. It stays this way in the downswing until when? Impact, the forearm goes that way. But because my body's in tilt, the only place it can go is like this. That's max range. So in other words, when I'm swinging a club, because of my what? Positions, look at the position of my body. Because of my positions and the braking system, look at my tilt, the arm can only go into, hand can only go into a square position. I can't make it not square. See how I just squared the face? All because of my address and grip position, range, and positions of my body. I bet you've never seen that demonstrated like that before, because everything I taught you there was what Mo was telling me about why it's so important to be in your single plane address. Look at the tilt of my body. See the alignment of my lead arm in the club? See the alignment of the trail arm in the club? So these alignments, and Mo talked about this, he called it orientation. My orientation of my body allowed me to only hit a square, solid, straight club face at impact. Notice how that just lines up. Look how close address and impact are. Address, impact. Look how close. There's just a little movement of my lower body. Very similar, right? Address and impact. But you got to get this right. You got to get address and grip right. Get the positions of the club moving correctly, and all of you can achieve impact. And sometimes guys will ask me, they'll say, well, Todd, you know, you've been doing this forever. You can do it. Look, if you want to do a little test on yourself, let me ask you a couple questions. Can you bend your body forward? Can you bend your body sideways? And can you rotate your body this way and this way? And if you can do those three things, you can do exactly what I've done. It doesn't take a lot. And now that the club's on a single plane, it can return to impact without even trying, because you're starting already on the impact plane. So this is such a simple motion that you can learn if you do it in the proper order. Now here's the thing. One of the things that was brought to my attention, this was late last year, was my team approached me. And another question I get asked quite often, and I get asked this all the time, is people want to learn the single plane swing. And you probably are sitting out there, maybe you're on the fence, maybe you started learning it yourself, maybe you've been watching my YouTube channel, maybe you've been kind of feeling it out. Should I learn this swing? What I want to make sure I do is I want to speed up the learning process for you. My goal is, I don't want to just teach you the swing. I don't want it to take very long. I want to speed it up for you. And my team asked me the question, Todd, if you could teach the single plane swing with your formula, they said, Todd, will you please, after 24 years of teaching this swing, put together the absolute best program you can put together to teach a single plane swing in the fastest period of time. I had to put together what I call a progressive training program. Progressive. What does that mean? It builds upon itself. The first day, the second day builds on the first day. The third day builds on the second day. The fourth day builds on the third day. It progressively trains. Why? Because I have to follow this formula. I can't let you skip down to speed before you've learned the positions, right? Address grip is primary before positions. Positions is primary over sequence. Sequence is priority over speed. I had to do it progressively. So I put together a 30-day progressive program. 30 days. Why 30 days? Because each day I wanted to deliver you the thing that matters a lot in this. And I forgot to put it on here. One thing that you're going to have to do with this is repetition. Repetition. So repetition is the mother of skill. That's an Anthony Robbins quote. Repetition is the mother of skill. I've got to get you to do this enough times correctly, progressively, to reprogram this. And there's science behind that. I don't want to get into the science of the brain. So I had a lot to take in consideration. I built Single Plane 30. And it's a progressive weekly training program. Let me walk you through exactly what this program does for you. It does it in 30 days. It's a comprehensive progressive program my goal here is in 30 days to teach you the single plane swing, to get you to hit it dead straight. Exactly what I just told you, how the club squares without even trying. That's my goal in 30 days. Week 1, here's week 1, right here. And address and grip. This is week 1 of the blueprint. I've got to get you in week 1. It's going to take a few days. You learn to orient your body, you position yourself. Then I got to take you to week 2. Week 2 is, what do you think it is? It's positions, right? This is week 2. And let me tell you something about this program before I go on any further. We've had, every single month, we've had people January, February, March, April, and now coming up in May, which the class starts coming up, rave about this program. They've never seen anything like it. They're telling me that this, in the golf industry, this is the only program they've ever seen that actually teaches the swing, because it has a model and it progressively teaches you in exactly the way you should learn anything in your life. There's nothing like this in the golf industry. I promise you. We had a group today we met with that said, I've never experienced anything so powerful in my life, and they love single plane 30. So let's talk about week 3. In week 3, we now blend. So we're blending now, right? We're blending our positions. There's week 3. So 1, 2, 3. So we're blending the positions week 3. Notice how this is progressively training you. I'm not trying to quick fix you. There's nothing quick fix about this. This is getting it right, getting it right, getting it right. And I told you at the beginning of the program that I don't want to quick fix you. I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to help you build a swing for the rest of your life that's fundamentally perfect, so you can go play great golf. So week 3 is about sequence you in the braking system, all right? Week 3. Week 4 is right about speed, right? We're going to get you moving dynamically. And here's the cool thing about this program. You don't do this on a golf course. You're not doing this. You don't do this thing. I'm not telling you to run to the range. I'm not telling you to go hit golf balls. I can do this at your home. I can do this out in your backyard. You can do it in your garage if you got space. Be careful of your dogs and animals, because I swing the club in my house all the time. I got to be careful. But be careful, but do it at your house. This is training you can learn how to move your body, and especially this first 2 weeks where you're just working on positions. You're not swinging, making motion yet. You can do this all right at home. You don't have to be at a golf course to do it. Now, here's some great things about the program. Here's what you need, because one of the parts for me, like, yeah, I don't mind building a 30-day program, but I've got to make sure people do it. And that comes to accountability. So here's what we did. And this is, give credit to my team for this. They put together a daily accountability. In other words, we deliver to you a training module every single day. Check this out. So look at this module. So in other words, I'm going to notify you every single day. You're going to wake up in the morning, 6 o'clock, Scott? 6 a.m. I don't know where you live, but 6 a.m. Central Time, we deliver you your module. And you train that module throughout the day, right? These modules take about 20 minutes or so, but you can do it more than once a day, right? So this is the daily module. So we want you to get the daily module in. You've never been trained the golf swing like this before, because I'm keeping you accountable to that daily module. So think about it. Every time you wake up, think about it for a minute. That day, you do your training. You don't have to think about it. The training's right there. There's a video. You watch the video. You do your module, right? So I'm telling you exactly what to do every day. And it's progressively. Each day is building on the next. So I'm progressively working through the swing. The other thing I'm going to provide for you is something I think is invaluable, is you need coaches to help you through it. You might have questions. You might want to post a picture of a position you're having trouble with. Maybe you have a question about something you're working on inside the program, a daily training module. You have a question about, our coaches are there to support you inside our Zoom sessions. You can ask questions 24/7, all day long if you want. I'm sure the coaches are hanging out there waiting for you to ask those. Or we have a Zoom session every single week where you can jump on the Zoom session and we get on there with you and coach you through it. So we have the coaching session. Here's an example of the Coach's Corner, where this is the last single plane 30 class, where you see some of the guys have posted pictures of their swing positions and the coaches are interacting with them. So we're giving you coaching support. I think it's invaluable, because what you feel you're doing might not be what somebody else is feeling. You may have a question about it. That's what we have the Coach's Corner for. So let me talk about this program here. And look, you're not going to believe the price of this thing. 30 days of coached training it's keeping you accountable. Here's the 30-day program. So the program value is generally we charge up to $1,000 for this. This is a $649 program. The daily accountability, the value of that, keeping you accountable, keeping those modules coming to you, $349 value. And of course, the live coaches being available to you is a $999 value. The total value of that is almost $2,000. That's basically what the total package of the program is worth from what we normally charge. Now, I want to, for tonight, and those of you who are watching this program, there's a couple of things I want you to do. I want you to go through single plane 30. After 30 days, right, I'm going to want you to take it to the course because you've got your new swing, but I don't want you to run straight to the course. I want to coach you to the course. And I put together a take it to the course class, which takes your single plane 30 and teaches you routines and ways to now take your new swing to the course. Because I don't want you to run out there and say, okay, I got it. I want you to coach you to the golf course. I got a pre-round routine. I got a pre-shot routine. I got an in-between shot routine and a post-round routine. There's 4 routines. Look, this is all about processes. So I'm going to take you through what you learned in single plane 30 and process you to the course. I want you to take advantage of this one too as well. I want you to talk to one of our coaches because I want to create your own blueprint. I want to customize your blueprint. So I'm going to give you a call with a coach where they build your blueprint, right? So that's what we're going to basically define your goals, organize strategy, and build a step-by-step plan for you, which I think you need to take advantage of because you have different. You might be playing tournaments this year. You might be playing in course. You might have a club championship coming up or a league, and different people have different things and have different goals. Okay, so let's look at the single plane 30, the total package here. You got the 30-day progressive training program, a $649 value. You got the daily accountability, which is making sure you're doing things correct every day, which is a $349 value. You got the live coaching support. What may be the most important part of this program was the coaches get to make sure you're in their program doing it correctly. That's a $999 value. The total value of that is $1,997, almost a $2,000 program here. Now, for the first 100, I got something special for you. I'm going to give you a $150 gift card. That's the training aid gift card. And now what this is, it's going to give you $150 off of these training aids that I've been working with to show you to keep you accountable and make sure you're practicing correctly. This is only limited to the first 100 enrollees, and it's only valid for 30 days after you enroll in the program. So I'm going to give you the first 100 only, the $150 training aid gift card. So for the first 100, I'm giving you a gift card for $150.
Yes.
So for $297, you can join the May single plane 30. By the way, it starts the 6th. So May 6th, the class starts. You've got to enter by May 6th, and here's why. Because when you're in the single plane 30 class, we can monitor and coach the entire class for the month. In other words, you're in week 1, everybody's in week 1. You're in week 2, everybody's in week 2. You're in day 14, everybody's in day 14. So as coaches, we get to coach all of you at the same pace and same rate. So we start the class once a month. So if you miss the May 6th, you'll have to join in June. Now, the first 100, we're limiting class size to 200 on this for the May class because our coaches can only handle so many people. But only the first 100 get the free training aids, basically, taking advantage of those offers. So if you're on there tonight and you want to finally, for the first time in your life, get a golf swing that's going to be simple, effective, efficient, consistent, easier on your back, and you want to learn it in the correct way, in the next 30 days, I've created this formula. It's a perfect formula, the blueprint for speeding up your learning. It's in the single plane 30. And guys, I don't know. And I've been asking myself, how can I improve this program? And I've been through this now for 4 months. I don't know how I can build a better, more progressive, more powerful training program than single plane 30. I don't know how I can do that. If I could, I would. And to give it to you for $297 plus the first 100, basically get the training aids for no cost at all. So if you're in the first 100 now and you're watching this program, put the link up there. There's a link right there, gravesgolf.com/enroll. So for $297, you can join the May single plane 30. Let me walk through the training aids real quick. When you're training, and this is advice for you, the question I have is, how do you know if you're training correctly or not, right? And so you need to be getting feedback. There's 3 basic tools I use to get feedback. One, and I'll just go in order of importance for me, is this alignment ball position trainer I have on the ground. This thing tells me alignment, foot position, ball position, and it tells me how far my feet, how wide they should be, gives me my alignment. So this thing's telling me exactly where my feet should be placed, where the ball position is placed. This is a mandatory tool because you can make a great swing and have a bad ball position and hit a bad shot. So I think this is one of the most important tools. The second most important tool I have is my Feeling Greatness Training Club because it gets my address and grip correct. The way it does that, let me kind of walk through this. The way it does this is, if you notice, it has a form grip on here. This form grip gets my lead hand on there, but I got to get my tilt correct. So there's some white paint on the 6-iron here, and when I get the proper tilt, I cannot see the white paint anymore. So it forces me to get my tilt correct, and then it forces me to get my trail hand correct. So this thing gets my hand, my address and grip in the proper position. It also, when I set this on the ground, it gives me the proper distance from the ball because of where this is painted. So this is it has a bunch of checkpoints on it as well. So this is the second most important tool that I have for training. And then the third most important tool is what we call a single plane trainer. Obviously it has the training grip on it. Notice it forces me to get in that tilt again, but it also keeps me hitting the proper positions of the swing. So this single plane trainer, and guys, today we're talking about how great this single plane trainer helps you reference impact. Those 3 training aids, I'm going to give you a $150 discount. $150? Oh, $171 discount on there. So now let's add that to the package. All right, so watch this. 30-day training program, the daily accountability, the live coaching, a $2,000 value. I'm going to give you the $171 training aids. The total value of this thing, over $3,000. Don't go back to my YouTube channel and try to figure it out yourself. Follow Single Plane 30 for $300, $297. You can enroll in this program, and in the next 30 days, we will coach you step by step, day by day, exactly what you need to learn to progressively build your single plane swing out in the next 30 days, and you're going to add speed at the end. And then I'm giving you the master class at the end of it to help you take you to the course, right? So now you got the class, and you got the training aids that go with it, all for $297. I don't know if I can do any better than that. Matter of fact, I was talking to the team tonight, and I said the June class is probably going to raise the price to $100 to $397, maybe even $497. We're thinking about going up in price for the June class because we're just offering so much in this class. And it's also why I've only limited it to 200 people, because when we get more than 200, it's hard to maintain it. So I got to limit it to 200. You guys are getting in for $300. I'm probably going to limit it to 200 and have to change it to $400 or $500 next month. So I just want you to know, now's the time to get into the class. Is there any questions I'm going to take? Christopher Burnham, when do you lift the club up in the backswing? It's between, so if you're working on the positions of your swing, and this is where we teach you in Single Plane 30. In Single Plane 30, the club goes onto plane, and there's checkpoints for the golf swing. The answer to that question is, as I'm turning away, right, and I kind of mentioned this, when the body gets to a certain point in position 1, the club starts coming up to position 2. Moe said to me, Todd, it's in and up. It's in then up. Well, that's in our terms, that's position 1 to position 2. And that's the stuff we teach you in Single Plane 30 is how to get the club to go onto plane. I'm not so concerned about the club being lifted up. I'm concerned about the club being on plane, right? It's not about when you lift the club. It's about on plane and then having the leverage angle you need, which is positions. It's always positions. So I want to kind of stay on that question for a second. It's not about when the club lifts up. It's about hitting the proper positions. If I teach you the proper positions, then you would know exactly when that club lifted up. See what I'm saying? I don't want to quick fix people with saying lift it up here or lift it up here. I want to put you in the proper positions, and then the club does exactly what it needs to do. From Rodney, I'm having trouble with the irons and being able to compress the ball and take a divot. How do I fix the issue? So you're having an impact. That is an impact problem, right? So again, and I'm going to put this out there, and I tell anybody I teach, and the reason I've had so much success as a teacher, and I've been doing this for almost 25 years, is because I don't quick fix. I basically resolve the problem through proper fundamentals. I teach you how to do things correctly. So because quick fixes have never worked for me. I'll give you an example. If you had an open face, I could always close the face, right? But that might not be the way. That's not how you're producing speed. You might be able to hit it straight, but you still hit it short. That's just a Band-Aid for a problem. I don't Band-Aid. So the answer to this question is, you're having trouble getting to impact. Well, if you're having trouble getting to impact, it's got to be one of your positions is off, right? Is it position 2? Is it position 3? Is it position 4? I could find it in 3 seconds. You could find it in 3 seconds if you're inside single plane 30. You would find exactly why that is. You would say, I'm having trouble with position 3. I'm like, you got to practice position 3. You got to do repetitions on position 3, which you do in single plane 30. And you would, again, you're going to find your own swing issues. You're going to be able to fix yourself in this. That's the whole point. Here's a question from Rick. I watched a video where Moe said he would never take a divot. How come that is? Moe actually used the term bacon strips, not pork chops, right? Bacon strips, not pork chops. In other words, very shallow divots. And I played golf with Moe many times. And it depended on the turf that he was hitting off of. If it was very tight turf, he would take a slight divot. If the grass was sitting up, a very shallow divot. The key is shallow. Just shallow divots, not big steep divots. That's because the club is on plane and not coming down steeply, and it's moving in a shallow fashion. He had a nice shallow golf swing, compressing the ball perfectly. And I'll give you a little science behind this. It's if you want to know how to become better at hitting a golf ball, it's about consistency of impact. So all good golfers are consistent at impact. So if I get the club to the same spot at impact, compress, 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 I'm a great ball striker because it comes in at the same angle, it comes in at the same angle of approach, and it comes in with the same loft. So if a club's coming in with the same loft and the same angle and the same speed, guess what you get? You get consistent distances, right? So that's why Moe was such a great ball striker because angle of approach, the shallow angle of approach, the consistent strike of the ball in the face, and you saw his clubs, dime-shaped sweet spot on there where he hit the ball, consistent distances, that's why he was such a good golfer. From Z Bud, how can I stop my shoulders from coming over the top? Guys, look at these questions just for a sec. Every one of these questions, there's a solution somewhere in the positions. Somewhere in here is your answer. If you want to stop coming over the top, you got to improve a position. What is it? Maybe it's position 2. Maybe your position 2 doesn't allow you to get the lower body moving first, which is the braking system, the transition. So I could find that in 3 seconds, but you'll be able to find it in single plane 30. You join the program, you get in single plane 30, and I will show you exactly. Plus, if you can't find it, you'll be in coach's corner, and the coach will be able to help you find it, right? You send a picture to the coach, he'll find it for you. Again, I created a program, single plane 30. I'm here to solve all those answers, but what I'm not going to do is sit here and try to quick fix you without having you go through this program or trying to give you a quick tip, which, like I said, you guys that watch my YouTube channel, I see a lot of questions coming in from my YouTube channel. To me, that's the worst place to get this instruction because it's out of order. You're not learning the address and grip first. You're not learning the positions. You're not learning the sequence. You're just grabbing something off there and trying it. Be careful, right? Be careful on that. That's not a helpful way for me to help you solve your swing issues. Michael A., what causes fat or thin shots? Positions. Again, guys, it's all right here, right? There's a position you're missing. A fat or thin shot, I would say there's a number of things that could happen. You're out of position at position 2, and you're under-rotated down to position 3. So I've seen a zillion people, they come down, they're too far here, their head is moved, and they can't get back to the ball. But again, my formula, that's why it's a formula, because 25 years of, after meeting Moe and him walking me through this, 25 years has given me this formula to give to you guys to be able to solve these issues. All you got to know is the model, right? The model will tell this. If you're matching the model, that's what single plane 30 teaches you the model. If you're matching the model and you're doing reps of the model, let me just give you, I'm going to erase this for a second. I want to give people some advice because I always get these questions, right? I get tons of these questions. Let me just put it down here because I want to keep this up here. This is going to sound a bit flippant, but I'm going to say it anyway. All of your swing problems can be solved with one thing. All of them. Every single one. So if you're fatting it, slicing it, hooking it, topping it, missing it, whatever. Do what's correct. In other words, go back to the fundamentals. Go back to your positions. Go back to your sequence. Go back to the producing speed with this formula. That's what correct is. Every one of those questions that you ask me, you can't ask me a question that can't be solved with that. You can't ask me one because there's somewhere in here. Because, okay, let's say, what was the last question he was hitting at fat? Fat and thin shots? Okay, fat and thin. Is your address and grip good? Let's check it, right? Okay, let's say it's perfect, right? Let's go to position 1. How's position 1? Good? Good. Let's go position 2. Is it good? Oh, position 2 is a problem. Got it. But maybe position 2 is great. Well, let's move on. Position 3. Position 3. You're staying back on your right leg. Okay, now we're finding it, right? There's not one thing there's not one thing that I can't solve with my formula. But what I can't do is make a wild guess at why you're hitting it fat. Because you haven't been through single plane 30. You haven't developed yourself correctly. You haven't learned the dance yet, right? How can I fix the middle of the dance when you haven't learned the beginning of the dance, right? I can't do it. So that's why this formula exists, by the way, because I don't quick fix people. I don't teach people off the street. I don't grab them and go, want to learn the swing? I'm like, you want to learn the swing? Guess where I'm starting you? Here, then I'm going here, and I'm staying here until we get it right, and we'll go here, here. And I teach them in 30 days. That's what I do. So let me just go back through the offer here, because if you're interested in this and you want to get the training aids included in the package, basically the offer, the way it works out, is the training aids are free for you if you do it through this program tonight. The first 100 people, go to gravesgolf.com/enroll. You'll get the single plane 30 program. You get the fast action bonuses, which includes the Take It to the Course Masterclass. All that for $297, about as good as I can do. Next month, probably going to go more than that. One more time, just so you guys get it. And look, if you're interested and you're serious about getting better and you want to get involved in the May program, which starts on Monday, the 6th, I need you, and you want to be the first 100 to get the training aid offer, because that's going to go away, and only spend $297 and get all this stuff. You need to get on gravesgolf.com/enroll and do it tonight. Do it right now. Get on there right now and join the program. And I'll be a part of the program too, so I'll see you in the program next month. But please do it now so you don't miss out on all the bonuses and all the offers. Thanks for joining me tonight, and let us know if you ever have any questions. You can always email us I'm at toddg@gravesgolf.com, or you can get scottar@gravesgolf.com. Get a hold of us if you have any questions. Thanks for joining me tonight, and I'll see you soon.